Okay, I cut this short. Welcome to the last episode of Learn Web3 with Colony. Last for now, I guess. This season at least is coming to an end. Today is gonna be a little bit of a retrospective day. We look at what we built, we look at all the interface, we look at all the files again, and see whether we can fix anything that stands out. And then we look at potential points of improvement for the future, things that you can do if you're interested, and just as a little kind of homework for until the next season, I guess. And yeah, I guess let's just dive in. So I opened a little file here. Let's just quickly mention this repository. If you haven't, for some reason, heard or know by now that this exists, it's a repository where I share all the code. That's GitHub. Join Colony, learn Web3. Yeah, this is to follow along. All the final code will be online here. Everything that we've done so far can be looked at here, and also there's a link to past episodes on YouTube. That's a playlist that looks like this. So if you want to check it out, feel free to. If you want to rewatch something, there's all the material. So I opened a little file here, which I've just written a couple of minutes ago. There's a couple of issues I noticed when I restarted the app and clicked through it. Basically, I saw that the colony missions overview is broken. We're kind of lacking an overview of all colonies that have missions. That would be nice. You can see all of the missions, but we actually want to go to colony overviews as well. Maybe we can also do that within a mission as a link. Let's see. That's something we can just easily implement today. I hope it's going to be easy. And for some reason there's no button for admins to create a mission, so let's add that as well. Potential points of improvement, we are going to get to that later. For now, let's just jump right in, fix the last couple of issues within our dApp, and then we go through the whole thing again, front end and back end, and then let's see what we can see and do with it. So if I go, this is kind of the first issue that I noticed. If I go to just this URL, which should be all of the missions within the colony, we get this error. And this is kind of a relic from the refactoring that we did last time with the migrations. So this done property doesn't exist anymore. So let's quickly fix that. And that would be in missions address index. Let's just go there. Should we use this window? Yeah, let's use this window. Source, pages, missions, address, index. So we can already see that here it's basically already yelling at us. Done doesn't exist. So let's say paid. This is what we actually want to do. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we have missions for colony. And then something that should be possible to do rather quickly is just to add a button for admins where they can create a machine here. So let's do that. I think we have this check here. Let's copy this check here. Maybe let's copy the whole thing because we need this with iron session thing. Because we definitely want to return something. Okay, and let's do some auto imports here, iron options, and with sessions. So there we go. Yeah, and we also need is user admin. That's a color. Cool. String. Okay. This is basically this website. I think there is still a problem that if we refresh, we automatically get logged out for some reason. Let's log in, let's connect, log in, let's see what happens. Sign in, permissions, and then we go to yeah, for some reason we get logged out. Well, I mean, I don't know really. Let's just return this admin here as well, and then we can do the following. You can say link. Let's import this. Create. Not really sure. Let's just delete the whole thing. Missions. And then the address. And then create mission. So there we have it. I would like for this to be a button. Not sure if this is supported. For that, let's look at Pico CSS. Oh yeah, here we have a role equals button. So maybe we can just put that here. We have role. Yes, that's cool. Role equals button. That should give us, yes, a button. Beautiful. And now we only show this if the user is an admin. Is admin, I'm sorry, is admin. We're not in some other weird templating language here, right? This is still JavaScript. Okay, now the button is not showing. So why aren't we an admin? Because maybe we're not logged in, I don't really know. We're not connected with MetaMask at least. Yeah, okay. I guess that would be some potential fix. I put that already on the list of things that we could do in the future, and that is auto connect. I think this would definitely fix this. Cool. So we fixed that. We do want to show a button here at some point, but that is gonna come later. I wonder though why these are not striked through, because shouldn't these be mission list items as well? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Didn't copy that. Let's just copy this code here. Put it into this index page as well, so that it looks consistent, right? There we go. I wonder why they're green. Green is paid, green is fine, green is done, successful. Okay, cool. We can still click that, I assume? Yes. Cool. Now, what we are going to do is create colony overviews. For that, we need to extend the schema, because I want to have one-to-many relationship of one colony to multiple missions. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't know how to do it in a relational database. And then the thing would be, when are we actually creating these colonies? These colony entities. I guess what we can do is we just create them when someone requests this page. We can basically ask whether there's a colony there under this link or under this address, whether there's a colony there. And if it's not yet created in the database, we can just create it. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. I think that's the simplest solution here. Let's do it. So first of all, let's go into the schemas. And we need a new model. We need a model colony. It has an ID. And I guess we can just format this properly. And then there are what we can do. That's just an idea for later. I don't think I'm going to do it today. But what we can do is have, first of all, missions, right? Have a list of missions here. Missions are mission. So I fixed that and automatically created this for me, right? So it has this, it added this colony thing and also colony ID. Which is fine. Yeah, but I want to name that colony. And here it already exists. This could be interesting. We store the address in here. Now this is going to be like something else. And it requires a lot of refactoring, but I think this is what I would want to do here. So we have a colony which has an address, obviously, and then it has missions. So what like another thing that we could do here is we add a list of admins. Right, we can have admins, and that's user list. And here we could basically say I think what I want to do is say admin in, and then we would have colony array. Right, so we have a many-to-many kind of thing going on here. Don't know if that will work. But I think we do need that. We cannot have it like this. We have to have this connection. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. This admin thing, just forget about it. I'll leave it in, but because then we just have to do one migration, but I'm not gonna like implement it, I think. At least not today. What I do want to do is yeah, this is definitely not optional, right? Very much not optional. Here, it's kind of important. Okay, so I have no idea. I think I would like to scrap the database. Let's look at how this is done. Prisma, drop database. Okay, how do we connect to it? To our Postgres. I mean, something that I know, but like, how do we connect to the database that it uses in the first place? Well, that seems quite cumbersome. But I think that would probably be the best to do that. Let's take a look. Okay. I'm just thinking what the easiest way would be to do this. I guess this. Is it this? Let's see. What's this? And then we have, so we're doing it manually. I'm writing the script now, and I'm just, wait a second, is this our database? Can we just, this seems to be our database. Let's just delete it. It's fine, let's just delete this file. We don't care, do we? Let's look at the migrations. Yeah, let's also remove all of those because we don't care. is empty. So what we can do now is, I forgot again how this works. npx prisma migrate name init, and we just act like this is our first migration ever. Beautiful. Okay, so now we broke a lot of stuff in the app, I think. I guess let's check components, pages. Let's look in the API first. No, this is fine. Oh look, we still have a done field in here. This is definitely paid, but I mean paid is optional anyways. It's default. It's false. So when a mission is created, we just set it to default, to false by default. So here we have an API for a mission to be created. My idea is that with the first mission, I think that's even easier because we have all of the checks in place. With the first mission, we can just create the colony as well, the colony entity, if it doesn't exist yet. So let's do it here. Like this is the handler to post a new mission, and in the overview page we can just put a button. I mean, there is a button already that says create a mission, and that's totally fine. And then it will just also create a colony. Yeah. I just don't know how to make join queries in Prisma, but I'm pretty sure we will figure that out as well. That's what we're here for, right? Learn things. So what we need to do is wait, Prisma, why don't we have a colony field? I need to reload this. Pages, API, mission. Prisma colony dot find unique where address. Okay, I think we don't have that in our schema. We cannot do find unique. That is definitely a shortcoming. We need to have that, to be honest. And what I'm saying is that here we have this. The colony address is a string that also needs to be unique. let's migrate. Colony address. If there are existing duplicate values, this will fail. That's fine, we don't have any existing values. Cool. Then let's start this again. Pages, API, mission. Again, this is our handler to create a new mission. And now we can say find unique where address. Now we get this also. And then this will be the address from up there. And then this would be a colony entity. And then we can say if colony doesn't exist, we just say create new colony, right? We can say await. And we can do that because we already checked whether the user is admin of this colony here. So that's pretty fine. In this instance here, we can just do that. Create, and then we have to give it an address. Oh, we have to give it the data field, and then there's the address in there, and that's the address from the bottom. That's all we need to give it. I wonder if we can do that, if we can just say admins, and then we just put in the rest session SIW address. String? No. User unchecked create nested many without admin input. I didn't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. Moving semicolons. And then we can say here, let colony ID equal colony.id. Actually, we can do that. We can say that that's a colony. Import it. And then we can say here, okay, sign that. Colony or null. Look at that from here. Sometimes the auto import just does weird things if things are named similarly, and colony obviously has all of them. So colony can be a colony for null, and we assign that here, and otherwise, let's just remove that. We create it here, and that definitely is not null. So did we call it colony ID? Yes. So now we have connected the mission to the colony, not by its address, but by the ID. So this is a kind of a classic pattern, right? Some database ORMs actually have the function find or create. Prisma, let's see, find. No, they don't have it. Yeah, find or create. This is basically something that exists, but I mean, again, this is a very classic pattern. You can just like look for something, and if it doesn't exist, we just create it with this data. Okay. So we fixed this problem here. There's many more, I would assume. I wonder what the type is that it creates. Yeah, exactly. So we have the colony ID, but we don't have the colony type on it. How does Prisma extend this? Because if we look into our schema, we can see that the mission actually has a colony field, which is like a colony. So I wonder how. Okay. Looks like it's this query here. It's almost GraphQL-y. Right. Let's go back to our where is it? Let's go back to API, applicate, no, mission ID here. So find unique. And apparently here we can say include colony true. And here we have comma. So now mission colony is in fact a colony Okay, that's pretty easy. And then now we can say mission colony address. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful join here. Beautiful table join. We don't need that. So you see what we did here. So we have this find unique, and apparently we can just extend the relation to the colony because we store the colony ID in there. And that's, I think, what's actually in the database is just the colony ID, and then it kind of maps it internally to extend it to a colony. So we can say basically, we include the colony property here. Nice. We just extend it to the actual entity in the database. And then we have the full colony object here, which has the address that we were looking for. And this is the pattern that we can now use throughout the whole app. I don't even know where that would be. Missions index. Solutions from menu, no? Okay. Mission list item. Yes. So I wonder if it has something like a mission with colony thing. Let's take a look at the API. Let's take a look at the file that we were just looking at. So if we look at this, okay. Well, okay, that's very manual. So it's a mission, and then it says okay, and we have like this union of types. Okay, and I can work with that. That's fine. This is where we need it. So what we can say here is I'm trying to not repeat myself here, but I think it's also, maybe we don't have to worry about that too much. So we have the type mission with colony, which is a mission, and we just copy the type that we saw earlier. Okay, call it the wrong colony again. I mean, how is it supposed to know? Okay, because for the mission list item, we do need the mission with colony. Actually, let's just go there and put this here. I wonder if they have something like that already. Okay, so now we can do it in our mission list item as well. So obviously a more performant or better way to do it would be not to get the whole colony every time. We want to just have a mission list item, because that's what actually happens, right? It asks the database for the colony as well, and we only need the address. So because the address is already unique, you would usually just store it yourself, but I'm kind of shortcutting here. So I would suggest you would use the colony's address, or the contract, whatever contract you're working with, you use that address as the ID, because it saves space and it's just easier to work with in the long run. So that would be mission with colony. That would be colony, and then we have so that's that. Index. I think we looked at all that. We looked at that. Exactly. So now we have to do find many, but include colony true. Otherwise, we don't get this item that we're actually expecting. So we can see here, this is missions. This is including the colony. So yeah, this should work. Let's look further here. Yes. Look, this is a good reminder that this is not really the right kind of type. And here we have to do the same thing again. We have to say include colony true. And again, if you have the colony address as ID, you don't need to do that every time, because then the ID is just in there, it's just fine. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can have like very complicated where clauses here. So let's just, so the thing is, we cannot ask for colony here, obviously. We can only ask for colony ID, but then this is like a number, which is an internal number. So what we need to do is we have to find out this ID first from the address. And how can we get that? Only by getting the colony itself. So let's do that. I mean, we are getting it anyways here, so might as well just do it here. Maybe this not the why care now? Find unique, and then where address. Params address. So now we have the column, right? And that means we don't need to include it here anymore. And here we can say column ID is column.id. What is possibly null? Yeah, we know that, so do that. So we have missions as admin, and we just as in the column as well. That's a good measure. Because this is pages missions address, and then this is the colonies in the next page. colony here as well. Oh my god, okay, let's just include it, whatever. We are not winning the performance prize ideas. Include colony true, and that means this is a mission with colony instead. And then this item is very happy. And all of the other red we just ignore because it's SIWE stuff. Decision stuff. Okay, so there we go. Here there could be the case where we just don't have a colony. Just don't find one. So we will sort that out later, because this is something that we are planning to do as a to-do item. But let's first fix everything according to the migrations that we did. So this seems fine. This is just a create. I think that's fine. This is where we just were. And then we have a mission here. So what we want to do here is we also, for one mission, we just include the colony as well. Oh, come on. And then we can say mission with colony, and that would be that for here as well. And that would make this happy, but this is the mission with colony.address. Okay, that's fine so far. We didn't break too much. Okay, this is apply. This is also fine, seems, and we have a single application where it seems it's fine, except all this weird red stuff. Okay, no, we have to have a mission with colony here as well, because we need the address here as well. So let's get it. Mission with colony. And then where are we getting? I didn't see that earlier. Application fine-tuning. Oh, there we go. Include colony true. Didn't see it because of all the red. And here we have to say address. Huh. What is unused? Fine. Okay. Then some weird stuff that I wasn't supposed to remove. Okay. Alright, this seems fine. So I think we went through everything now, through the whole thing. I want to see if we can actually start the app now. npm dev. Okay, witness version of honest. We expect that there's nothing here. So let's log in. What I want to do is go to random colony now. Mind that we don't have any colonies in here yet. So what happens if we open this? Okay, missions for colony. And we actually get the create mission button. That's what I wanted to have. And I think we only get that if we admin. Address index. Yeah, is admin, and then we have the create mission button. Beautiful. So we actually have, we can actually open an overview for like any colony, as long as it's an address. I don't even know if we're checking whether it's an address or not. I think we are. Yeah, I think we are checking whether this exists at all. So we can click create mission and see what happens. Okay, create new mission. Title, create a beautiful logo for my colony. Bounty 500. It would be nice to display the colonies token here, right? Yeah, that's some future homework maybe. Let's put that here in our next. I just realized that calling it next wasn't really a good idea. Add token symbol to emissions and create emissions screen. Because I think we're currently in the mission overview screen. I think we're currently using our like fake, or I don't know, placeholder logo, placeholder symbol for the token. It just has to be beautiful. So create the mission, and mind the colony doesn't exist yet. I think we created it. I didn't lock this network request, but I think the fact that this is being cleared means that it was created. So that's also redirect user to new mission after it was created. Look, this is all stuff that is not really necessary for our purposes right now, but it makes the user experience a little bit better. So let's see, let's go to the home page and click on, go to missions. Let's go to the missions page. Look at that, missions within our colonies. We have create beautiful logo for my colony. that means the colony is also created now, and what we can do is have a list of colonies that have missions, or potentially have missions, because we don't know, some might just be deleted or something like that. But like when we can have a list of all colonies that exist in our database, which is nice. So let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Source, pages, missions, and that's the index page here. And what we want is cost colonies. So wait. Prisma colony find many. Where? So this is kind of let's look that up. So what I want to do here is where missions are not empty, because it's an array, or it's supposed to be an array. Let's just Prisma not empty array. It's just easier if we search this. Wow, that's actually quite. Oh wait, this is not really an answer. No, we can actually do that. The question is the answer that we were looking for. Where missions is empty. False. That didn't work. So we're not supposed to do that. Because it's not a scalar. Okay. Well then let's not do it. I don't think we can make like this very complex. So the thing is that it's not a scalar list. Sorry. It's not a scalar list. It's a list of missions, actual missions, as the object. So we cannot really do anything here, I guess. I'm just trying something here. Where missions. I don't think we can do anything here. Yeah, what I want to have is a complex where clause. Oh, wait a second. What do we have here? Where... I'm not really sure how this would be. Mission list relation filter. I'm not sure really. I'm curious, you know? Do we find it here? Is this in here? So we have every, some, and none. Okay. I mean, that's helpful, I guess. So what we want to do is include missions true. Actually, we don't need the missions. We have a complex where clause here, where missions some, or actually none. And then we can say paid true. So as far as I understand is what we're doing here is we're asking for all the colonies where none, no, actually what we're looking for is some are not paid, some false, right? So we're looking for colonies that have open missions. So that's actually quite cool that we can do that we can have this very complex query. So we can have all colonies which contain missions where some are not paid. So some are open. I think that's good enough for our purposes. And then we get the colonies in our props. Maybe this one? Yes. And then we just do this, we just copy this. And we say colonies with open missions. And then colonies. I just hope this works, otherwise we just leave it. No, it's not super important. We're not here to learn Next.js. And that is a link, href, missions, colony.address. And then we have the colony address here as well. Right. Colonies will open it. I mean, that's true, right? This technically there. So, in the perfect world, you would obviously get the name of the colony somehow. There will be a way in the future, don't worry, but right now it's not possible. I mean, it's possible, but it's hard. It involves IPFS and such. It's definitely not part of this course. Let's take a look at this mission. Create a beautiful logo for my colony. So this is still the dead. This is our placeholder symbol. It just has to be beautiful. Yeah, let's apply and see. Ooh, okay. What does that mean? So we cannot go to apply. I think the apply page just checks whether we are logged in. Go into the homepage. We are logged in, so I don't really know why this is happening. So let's fix that. That's what we're here for. Today we fix everything. I mean, we fix most things. So missions, address, and apply. Parents IT. I mean, can we just lock this? Let's lock these two things. Here, I guess. Okay, undefined. User is undefined. But we just logged in. Let's go to the very home page. Verify. Okay, we're not writing anything to the user looks. I guess that's the thing that we at some point removed. So what we can do is this. So if the user addresses doesn't exist, or if the ID doesn't exist, we say not found. That's fine. What we can also do is, because here the mission can be 0, so if we say if mission, or I mean not 0, but none, null, we return not found true as well. Okay, let's reload. There we go. Create a beautiful log for my colony because logos. Reapply. So text disappeared. It's always a good sign. That means we probably applied. Let's go back. Yeah, we have an applicant. Let's take a look at it. Okay, application for mission, create a beautiful look for the colony, user is this address, why me, because of my current logos. Okay, we are admin, so we have the accept button, so we can press it. So, this is the stuff with the redirects. Let's go back. So now it's put in this worker. But we do not have the button to accept, to pay out the bounty. Why not? We are fixing all the issues today. Because I'm technically admin of this. So that would be ID index. To be honest, I feel like we're missing a lot of code that we wrote at one point. Like we have the pay function. Oh yeah, so sorry, because we are not connected to MetaMask. This is this Colony Network thing here. At the same time, this button should also only be there if we're an admin. So let's do that as well. That would be, we can just copy it from create. Sorry, it was a wrong import. Fixing it as we speak. Okay. Then we can say here is admin boolean. And then culinary network is admin here as well. Is admin. Go. So, let's go to the login page. We connect to MetaMask. We don't need to log in because we are logging in all missions. So this is red now because it has a worker. So let's go there. Let's check in whether we are admin. That's good. And now we have this beautiful button, pay worker and complete mission. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. You know, last time we wrote this beautiful ingester that is not running at the moment because I didn't start it yet. So right now, clicking this button will just put it into a pending state. But let's do that. Let's click the button, put it in a pending state, and see what happens as soon as we start the ingester. So pay worker complete mission. That will take a while. Again, did it work? We don't know. You get an error in the console. I think this is where MetaMask should be opening. Okay, there's another issue apparently with this. Internal JSON RPC error. Not super helpful, is it? So I think this all goes through, to be honest. But then we don't even get to the point where we can sign the transaction. Let's reload. Reconnect MetaMask. Sometimes it's a bit of a weird beast. Just disconnect from both accounts. Reload. And then we do login, we do connect. Yes, we use this account, connect, and then login, sign in, then we are logged in all missions, create a beautiful colony, pay worker. No, we don't get anything. Well, I guess I'll have to look at that off screen, because this is something that looks like it's very, this is going to be a pain to debug. So we just assume that this works. Probably. Our dep works, I hope. I did install a new version of Colony SDK, a beta version, so maybe that broke it. I have to debug this. Beta versions are never really stable. Not even the ones I wrote, especially not the ones I wrote. So at least our app logic works. MetaMask is trying to do something, but it can't for some reason. Because I guess oh, you know what? Maybe we don't have enough. I think we have enough. I'm pretty sure we have enough. I think it's this colony that we're connecting to. Yes, C5. So we have 1,900 only for a demo that we're trying to send. So it would revert if there wasn't enough balance here in the root domain, but there is. So I can't really say why this is happening now. So sad. So we cannot go through the whole workflow. Sorry about that. But I will fix it. I will fix it. And I will put it online, I will test it, and then I will scream it out there somehow. So I promise you that. I will fix this. But for now, yeah, we cannot pay anyone, so it's we're kind of stuck there. But we know that we have these missions. We can go to the overview page of a colony, which is cool. So we can have like create mission here. So we have the beautiful page for one single colony. So that's pretty cool. Let's go and take a look at our dep again. So the files basically start here, right? So this is our main entry point in the application. This is where we create like the front end code. And this is also where we initialize the Colony network. Colony SDK is basically plugged in here as a React provider. WAGME is taking care of most of the stuff, so kind of providing us with a signer. Like this is what we see here, watch signer. And whenever that change, like whenever we get a new signer, that means like we're connected to MetaMask now, or to whatever wallet they choose with WAGME. When the plugin is installed, we get that, and then we can plug in the signer into the Colony network and have a version that can actually sign transactions if it worked. And then we just jump into our app here. This is kind of the main component, and we wrap it in like the WAGME config and our Colony context, where we just provide it with the Colony network provider. Maybe at some point I make like a little React plugin that does exactly this. Yeah, we'll see. Like a React, maybe WAGME kind of thing. Yeah, would be interesting, I guess. me write that down. React README provider or Colony SDK. Cool. So this is our entry point, and then we have the document, which is just our very basic HTML document, which has a nav, which is our beautiful nav bar here, the main, and then this is kind of the next script is injected by Next.js, so that it takes care of all of the JavaScript that needs to be loaded here. Because this is also rendered by a server. And then we have our index here. And this would be just this page. Sorry, this page. Just this page here. So we can check whether a user is logged in. And then we can basically go to log in, but to missions, and then we can just go to actually really any colony address and see whether we're admin there. Maybe let's put in some bogus stuff. I don't know what happens then. Server error does not support this. Yeah. So let's fix that. Let's go to missions, and then let's address and then index. And what we can check here, user is admin. So we have get colony, and then we put in a string here, and there it should actually say, oh, this is not an address. What we can do here is a very simple fix. We can just get details from ethers, and we can just say const is address. Get the details. There we can easily check an address. So we can just say if is address, then throw new error. Not a valid address. We really want to throw here because it doesn't really make sense to do that here. Actually, what we can also do before we do all of this, we can go back to this page here and do just the same thing in the function called get server-side props. So we get import, utils ethers, because we have access to it on the server side too, that's fine. And then we can say const utils, const is address equals utils. And there we can say if params dot address if is address params address return not found true. As string. Okay, there we go. Now we get a 404. So let's try a valid one. Let's try this one. And there we go. Missions for colony. Cool. So this is our little overview page. This is where we check a couple of things. We check whether the address is correct. We check whether we are admin or not, and that would either show this button or not. We get the colony that belongs to this address, and we get the missions that belong to this address. And then we have the create form, and that's only shown to us when we're if we're an admin. And that's fairly straightforward. It's just a form, and the page checks whether we are admin as before. Then let's look at the API for this. So we have the handler here for the post request. That means we create a mission here. And if the user is not logged in, we throw. If the user is not admin, we throw, because we need to check this in the API as well. Then we do what we implemented before. This is basically find or create a colony. So if that colony is not in our database yet, when the first mission is created, we also create the colony. It's kind of a nice pattern, so we don't need to worry about the colony not being there. And then we create the mission in our database, and then we just send that. That's fine. So that's basically all for the creation here. So then, then we can basically look at what we have created here. Create a beautiful log from a colony. That is this page basically. Then we do some checks before loading the page. We check whether the user is admin again. That is to show the payout button, which we don't show right now because we are not connected to MetaMask. We load the mission data for it, and we load all applications for it, which we would show if there wasn't a worker. And then we show all the data in the page. Let me show you what we do when the admin actually clicks the pay button. So this is calling this function here, right? So we double check whether the colony network is injected in our dApp. We get the colony for the specific mission. We want to get the colony with a certain address. Then we check whether the one transaction payment extension is available on this colony. If not, we couldn't do it because this extension is needed to do this kind of one transaction payment that we're trying to do here. If there's no worker for some reason, we're also checking that, and it's like, oh, then it alerts us there's no worker for this mission. And then we can say, and this is where we actually create the blockchain transaction. We just basically say colony extension 1tx, and that's the one transaction payment, and then we call the function pay on it with the worker, which is the user's address, and with the bounty of the mission. And we have to convert that to a way number, which is what the contract accepts. So we have to add a bunch of zeros, actually 18, to our number. And that resolves relatively quickly because we don't really wait for it to happen. So I'm sorry. It's too late. After that happened, we take the transaction hash. I need to write something down. Okay, this pen doesn't work anymore. Alright. And then we do our ingester magic here. We basically change the mission in the database to add our transaction hash that we just got from the transaction. And we basically tell it the address of the colony and the transaction hash that belongs to it. And then that's in the database. Now let's look at the ingester. It's like a little detour now. It's a fairly simple script. So the main thing here is that we set an interval of 5 seconds. So it runs this function every 5 seconds. Where in the database we find a mission where it has a transaction hash. Excuse me. So the transaction hash is what we just added. And also very important that it's not paid yet. It's not marked as paid in the database, because this is what we are going to do in the ingester now. So if there's no mission or if the mission doesn't have a transaction hash, we just return. And then it says, oh, we found a pending transaction and it's handling it. So that means now we can actually get the transaction receipt for it from the blockchain. And then we parse the transaction logs. I added a little note here. I mean, that is definitely true. Let's add this very quickly. So what does transaction logs mean? Transaction logs are part of the receipt that we get from the blockchain. It means this is all of Ethereum events that happened in this transaction. And then we can parse these and see whether there's an event that interests us. And in this case, it is the one transaction payment made event that interests us. Here, I'm actually just checking whether there is any event, but that's not technically true. I mean, it works for our case, but what we should actually do is look for the right event. So what we want to do is const event. Can we just call it event? It's fine. And then we can say if event name equals 1tx payment made. Very important to not make a typo here. Then we can say found event equals right. So we're actually checking whether this is the right event name. Cool. So, and if actually the ingester did find this event on the blockchain, then we update the previous mission that we were given, and we say, okay, this was actually paid out, and then it's marked as paid in that database, so that no admin has to do it, and we can have an indefinite amount of time between the admin creating the transaction to pay and it being marked as mined or paid, really. So this is what our ingester does. So we're almost closing in to an end here. Let's look at really the. I don't want to go into detail of all the API things because it's next. I don't think we need to explain all of it over and over. Let's just go through this really quick. This is the handler for. Handling a put request, like an edit to a mission. So we have the same data again as creating. We check whether the user is logged in and the user is an admin, and then we find the mission that we want to edit. And we also check whether the mission belongs actually to the colony. And then we do like the requested changes here. So depending on what we want to change, it changes slightly here. So that's that. And this is basically all the workflow already. So we can edit the mission. That means we can set it to whatever we want. We can accept applicants, and for applications, it's kind of the same workflow as for missions in the API. We can add a worker, and we can pay out a mission. That's the whole workflow. One thing that I would like to show as well is how we handle the login or sign in with Ethereum here, because we're using SIWE for it. I'm actually not using this. Interesting. Okay, I'm not using it. Cool. Other options we did use. Okay. So I did explain this in one of the first videos. I think the session is called Sign in with Ethereum. So if you want to know how that works in detail, watch that. But just to quickly go over it, what we are doing is we want to prove to the server that we own the Ethereum address that we are saying that we are. So the server gives us a little challenge and say, sign this with your Ethereum account and send it back to me. And then we do that and send it back to the server, and the server checks this challenge and says, okay, that's fine. I believe you. This is the Ethereum address that belongs to you. And this is what's happening here. So we parse the message that the client gave us. So again, if you want to see how we implemented that in detail, just watch the Sign in with Ethereum session. And then we save the session. Like after we validated that, we save the session and basically store the user in the session data. And that means we're logged in. And then it's again a very similar pattern. We see like if we can find the user in the database, that's fine. If it doesn't exist, we create the user as we do with the colony, for example. So this is our Sign in with Ethereum handler. That's basically, I mean, I didn't show you all of the parts of the application, but I showed you the main parts of the application. And if you're interested in a certain part of how something works, just go through the videos that are already on YouTube and watch it again. If you're unsure which video to watch because they're quite long, to get the information that you need, just send me an email, just send me a message on Discord, and I'll sort you out. So this is it. This is our little Learn Web3 with Colony course coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you have any more questions, I'm definitely available or for all of your questions. Leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. And apart from that, happy coding. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.